Yes, Mataji, you can start. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna everyone. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite. Gokula Taruni Mandala Mahite. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. दामोदर राते वरधन वेशे हरि निष्कुट वृंदाविपिनेशे दामोदर राते वर्धन वेशे हरि निष्कुट वृंदाविपिनेशे राधे जय जय माधव दयिते वृषभानुदाधे नव शशिलेखे ललिता सखी गण रमित विशाखे वृषभानुदाधे नव शशिलेखे ललिता सखी गण रमित विशाखे राधे जय जय माधव दयिते करुणां कुरु मयि करुणभरिते सनक सनातन वर्णित चरिते करुणां कुरु मयि करुणभरिते सनक सनातन वर्णित चरिते राधे जय जय माधव दयिते गोकुल तारुणी मंडल महिते राधे जय जय माधव दयिते हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे शिला प्रभुपाद की जय हरे कृष्ण माता जी।
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Very nice Kirtan, Mataji. Thank you so much. I'll begin with my prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Katamayam Dadati Swapadantikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरि प्रिये जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे. So we have been doing this prayers by the Vedas personified. So we'll do a summary of that, what we have done. So the Vedas are actually glorifying the Lord. This is Sanandana said, numerous personified Vedas appearing as the first emanations from the breathing of Lord Narayana recited prayers for his glorification just before the creation. And then they say, they glorify the Lord, they talk about his emanations, his incarnations, his energies, and they say devotional service is what is actually going to help them go back to Godhead. So, how do we get the association of the Lord? How do we actually stay in our spiritual journey? Only through devotional service. A person who is not come to that platform cannot actually progress. That is very clear. It says that these slokas actually talk about like in the purports, Prabhupada is explaining about impersonalism, Mayavadis, everything. Ultimately, devotional service is glorified, and also the importance of Guru is very, very important. And a person who does not have, does not take a shelter, does not take shelter of Guru, or does not try to, uh, the last shloka, I'll just go there 1 second. Who does not have a guru or does not take his shelter, 40, text 40, his future is doomed. Because a person who is actually not making any efforts to worship the Lord, or at least, worship the Vaishnavas and stay in the association. Anybody who is not in Krishna consciousness, their future is not so good. So ultimately, we have to take the shelter of spiritual master, take shelter of Krishna. So that's what they are saying. So let's go to this last. This is where it ends the prayers. When a person realizes you, he no longer cares about his good or bad fortune arising from past pious and sinful acts, since it is you alone who control this good and bad fortune. So a person becomes fearless and he's not even worried about, fortune, what will happen to me tomorrow, what is my fate, and he's not bewildered about anything, like a dhira. Such a realized devotee also disregards what ordinary living beings say about him. He just wants to please Krishna and serve the Vaishnavas. That's all is his goal. Doesn't matter whatever happens, he's not worried about himself. Just wants to serve Krishna, whatever the situation is. Every day he fills his ears with your glories, which are recited in each age by the unbroken succession of Manu's descendants, and thus you become his ultimate salvation. This is where the prayers end. So, glorification of the devotees, glorification of devotional service, all that is there. So, how do members in the renounced order of life behave? And see, members of the renounced order who fail to uproot the last traces of material desire in their hearts remain impure, and thus you do not allow them to understand you. So the heart has to be pure. If you want Krishna to come and be in our heart, like in Chaitanya Charitamrita, there's this Gundicha Marjan, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually washed the temple thoroughly. It's like that. If the heart is very clean, then Krishna is pleased. Krishna can stay there and he will actually help us. Otherwise, he himself has to give us that mercy to understand him. If we are not, trying to follow all the regulative principles, not following the regulative principles, not following all the rules that is given by the spiritual master, not chanting and not trying to control our mind and senses that way, then he will not allow us to understand him also. So ultimately, it's the mercy that makes us understand Krishna, makes us understand who we are and how we can actually serve Him. So, all this is also mercy. Our efforts are very important, but about Krishna, how He, like a degree of our surrender. So, that's how much He'll reciprocate. Although you are present within their hearts, for them, you are like a jewel worn around the neck of a man who has totally forgotten it is there. Oh Lord, see, Krishna is right in our heart, but thinking about him 24 hours sounds like such a big task for normal people, right? Normal karmis. It's very, very difficult. But we should be very, very uh, happy that we have all this opportunity. Like, from morning till evening, we have something to do. Some service, some Shravanam, some Kirtanam is going on. Oh Lord, those who practice yoga only for sense gratification must suffer punishment both in this life and the next, from death, who will not release them, and from you, whose kingdom they cannot reach. So, devotional service and the importance of Guru is mentioned here. So, Aishwarya Mataji said, as soon as we finish this, we can start studying Bhagavatam from the beginning. We can do that. So, what we'll do is, I'll stop, close this. So, that's the summary. Mm, Before we start uh, studying this Bhagavatam, from the beginning, there is this PPT which gives overview of the whole first canto, the entire first canto. We can do that. I will just share that. We'll go through the PPT. Once we see the overview, then we can start from chapter 1 and slowly we'll start reading half an hour per day, like 4 or 5 days a week. Because Bhagavatam is vast, we can't do it once a week for 5 minutes or 20 minutes, because there will be a gap and we'll forget what we read last week, right? So to keep that flow, every day we'll read little. So we'll do that, and let me share the PPT. We'll go through the overview. I think most of you already seen this PPT. Just a minute. So let's see the overview of the first canto so that we know what exactly is happening in the first, what the first canto is actually telling us. नष्टप्रायशाबद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी. Now, see what are the 10 subject matters dealt in Bhagavatam. Sarga Visarga Sthanam Poshana Bhutaya Manvantara Ishanukata Nirodha Muktir Ashaya. There's a shloka for this. So Sarga, the statement of the creation of the universe. Visarga is also discussed, statement of sub-creation. Sthanam, the planetary systems. Poshanam, protection. See, it is according to the cantos, it's numbered also nicely. Fifth is Udaya, the creative impetus. Sixth is about Manvantaras, changes of different Manus. There are 14 Manus, all that. Seventh is Ishanukataha, the signs of God. Eighth is talking about Nirodha, going back home, back to Godhead. Mukti is discussed in the ninth canto, liberation. 10th is Ashraya, Samambonam. Now, first and now different cantos are compared to the different parts of the body, the Lord's body. So here you see this one, this sloka says that Padau yadiyau prathama dvitiyau tritiya turyau katito yad uru nabhistata panchamayeva shashto bhujantaram doryugalam tatanyo kantastu rajan navamo yadiyo mukharvindam dashama prapullam एकादशो यस्य ललाटपट्टं शिरोऽपि तु द्वादश एव भाता. First and second cantos are compared to the lotus feet of the Lord. Introduction. First and second cantos are deal with the introduction, and they are compared to the lotus feet, two lotus feet of the Lord. Third one is discussing Sarga, primary creation, that is the thighs. Fourth is Visarga, secondary creation, that is creation done by Brahma in the fourth canto. So third and fourth are compared to the thighs. Fifth is Thanam. Thanam is Vedic cosmology, the material structure, structure of the universe, all that is discussed, and that is compared to the Nabhi, navel. Fifth is the Lord's navel. And then sixth deals with Poshanam. That's what is discussed in that. Poshanam means protection, nourishment, how the Lord is protecting us. Protection is discussed there. And sixth is compared to the chest. Seventh is Uti. Uti means desire. Like in seventh canto, we have Prahlad Maharaj pastime. All that is there. And then Uti is desire, good desires, bad desires. You know, seventh and eighth cantos are compared to the hands of the Lord. Eighth discusses. In the eighth, we see Manvantara. It's all about description of the Manvantaras. 14 Manus, their description comes. And then that is seventh and eighth are compared to the hands. And then, there's ninth, Ishanukatha, means description of devotees. Ninth is compared to the Kantha, Lord's throat, throat of the Lord. So what comes in ninth canto is description of devotees. And then 10th canto, we know compared to the face of the Lord. And we know 10th canto is about Lord Krishna's pastimes and his so many, his glorification is there in it. Such sweet pastimes are there. And we have this Krishna book, which is nothing but, whatever is there in the 10th canto, Prabhupada put all that in that one Krishna book. And 11th canto is about Mukti, liberation, Nirodha. Nirodha means Mukti, liberation. And Nirodha means Pralay. Pralay. And then that is compared to the forehead. And 12th discusses about different types of Pralay. And there are 4 types of Pralay, and that is Nirodha. Head. It's compared to the head. So this is what is given here. So first and second cantos are compared to the lotus feet of the Lord. Third and fourth are the thighs. Fifth is the navel. Sixth is chest. 7 and 8 are arms. 9 is throat. 10 is lotus feet. 11 is forehead, and 12 is head. So that is how it is. Glories and significance of Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is the crown jewel of all revealed scriptures. Bhagavatam is the ripened fruit of the Vedic desire tree. We know that, Vedas was not really very satisfied after writing all this Bhagavata Sutra and all that. But then Narad Muni's instructions, based on that, he wrote Bhagavatam, because here he has directly glorified the Lord and his pastimes and his devotees. All nectarian narrations of all his pastimes are there. And then that's why he had to write this, and he wrote this for everybody to benefit. Bhagavatam is the literary incarnation of Krishna Granth Bhagavatam. If Bhagavatam is there at home, it's as good as Krishna. It's like Krishna is with us. Bhagavatam is the natural commentary of Vedanta, Mahabharata, Gayatri, and Vedas. Bhagavatam is for purification of conditioned soul and relished by devotees. Who does not recognize Bhagavatam is doomed. Bhagavatam is dear to the topmost Paramahamsas. So, first canto will start, which talks about creation. And in so many incidents are mentioned, like Bhishma giving up his body, and then even Krishna also leaves to Goloka. All these, so many things are mentioned, and Kunti Maharani's prayers are there. It's amazing to read all that. The first canto describes the principles of creation and is called Creation. The first canto is called Creation. Canto 1 describes the purpose of Srimad Bhagavatam. Why Bhagavatam was written by Vedas, that is described. It was described why is given here: to depict, inspire, and awaken pure. Sorry, just a minute. Cursor. Just a minute. Okay. To depict. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. To depict, inspire, and awaken pure and unmotivated love of God, which is actually the goal of human life. All the Vedas, the Vedic literature, they are all there to help us to come to that platform. And then through the various narrations, we witness this pure love being exhibited by different devotees who all ultimately attain the absolute perfection of life. Absolute perfection of life is Krishna Prema. So that is the intention behind this, the purpose of Srimad Bhagavatam. So there are 19 chapters, first to 6. 7 to 11 is about love, attaining the absolute. 12 to 15. Parikshit Maharaj punished. 16 to 19. So Srimad Bhagavatam, first 6 chapters, glories of Bhagavatam. Chapter 1, glories of Bhagavatam. The spelling, I think. Second is essential truths of Bhagavatam. There are 6 questions the sages asked in the Naimisharanya. They asked 6 questions, very important questions, and those questions will be answered. Very, very important questions. Those are the kind of questions a person should be asking, and the sages are actually asking these questions so that everybody in this creation can benefit from the answers. The goal of Bhagavatam, Sri Krishna has discussed in chapter 3. The history of Bhagavatam, there are 4 questions that are answered in 3 and 4. Compilation of Bhagavatam, 4, 5, 6. And love of Arjuna, chapter 7. Love of Uttara and Kunti. How Krishna saves Parikshit Maharaj when he's in Uttara's womb. That pastime is there. In Kunti Maharani's prayers, when Krishna is leaving them, she will, offer her obeisances and prayers. In chapter 8, the love of Bhishma Deva. Bhishma Deva, Krishna is there in front of him when he actually leaves his body, and his prayers are there. Chapter 9, the love of Hastinapur residents in separation. Chapter 10, and love of Dwaraka residents in union. Chapter 11. All these are discussed. There are a lot of dialogues also. Attaining the absolute 12 to 15. Parikshit Maharaj's birth and eventually his departure. We know Parikshit Maharaj is cursed. So all that is discussed. Dhritarashtra departs. He also leaves the palace. He was there for a very long time, and then Vidura and they all try to tell him that it's time for him to leave. So that is discussed here. He leaves, departs. Krishna departs, 14 and 15. Parikshit punished, 16 to 19. These chapters talk about his punishment. Parikshit Maharaj rule, chapter 16. Parikshit and Kali. There is this dialogue between Kali personified and Parikshit Maharaj, 16 and 17. Parikshit Maharaj cursed, 18. Parikshit retires and Shukadev enters. And Shukamuni actually narrates this Bhagavatam. That is chapter 19. So, 6 questions by the sages of Naimisharanya and answers by Srila Sutta Goswami. History of Srimad Bhagavatam. History of the author of Srimad Bhagavatam. How he got inspiration to write Srimad Bhagavatam. History of Maharaj Parikshit. His birth, activities, and deliverance is given here. Deliverance of King Parikshit. Birth of Maharaj Parikshit. Maharaj Parikshit chastising Kali. Maharaj Parikshit's meeting with Shukadev Goswami. And then this is, the expansion. Oh, sorry. Second. Yeah. Shri Krishna, the cause of all causes. His expansion is Baldev. And this is direct expansion. You can see from Baldev originate Vasudev, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, and Anirudh. From Sankarshana come Narayana. From Narayana there is a second Chaturvyuha. There is Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Anirudh. From Sankarshana, Mahavishnu, who is also called Karanodakshai Vishnu. And from him, Garbhodakshai Vishnu, who enters each and every universe. And then there is Shirodakshai Vishnu, Paramatma sitting in everyone's heart. So Balram, Sankarshan, Narayana, Mahasankarshana, Mahavishnu, Garbhodaksha Vishnu, Shirodaksha Vishnu. That is given. From Krishna or Govinda comes Balaram. From Balram comes Sankarshana. From Sankarshana, Narayana. From Narayana, the second Sankarshana. From the second Sankarshana, Mahavishnu. From Mahavishnu, Garbhodaksha Vishnu. And from Garbhodaksha Vishnu, Shirodaksha Vishnu. This is in Srimad Bhagavatam 6.16.37. This description is given there. Then let's see what else. Lord Krishna's expansions through Garbhodaksha Vishnu. Through Garbhodaksha Vishnu, there are, there's Shirodaksha Vishnu, who is in charge of goodness. He maintains, he's a super soul, and all incarnations emanate from him. And there is Brahma, master engineer. He's the one who creates everything. All the instructions are given to him, all the material, everything is given. He's a secondary creator. So it's like Prabhuji says, it's like you have a carpenter, you provide him all the ingredients, you provide him wood and that and this, he creates something out of it. Just like that, Brahma is the engineer. He's in charge of passion. He's a secondary creator. Then there is Shiva. Is Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. Shiva is in charge of ignorance, destruction of the universe. And there is Daksha, Marichi, Manu, like that. There are so many other incarnations. Lord Krishna's different incarnations are also discussed. There's Purushavatar, Gunavatar, Leelavatar, Manvantavatar, Yugavatar, and Satyaveshavatar. Can somebody read this, please? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
There are avatars, Purushavatar, Gunavatar, Nana, Manvantara avatar, Satyavashar avatar, Leela avatar. So in Purusha avatar, there are 3 Karnodakshay Vishnu, Garbhodakshay Vishnu, Kshirodakshay Vishnu. And in Gunavatara, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, or Rudra. Manvantara, Swayambhu Manu, Swarochisa Manu, Vaivasvata Manu, the present age. And Saktya Veshavatara, Kamaras, Narada, and Prutu. And Leela Avatara, Matsya Avatara, Kurma Avatara, Vara Avatara, Rama Avatara, Narsimha Avatara, and Vamana Avatara. Yuga Avatara, Satya Yuga, Narsimha Devu, Treta Yuga, Lord Rama, and Dwapar Yuga, Lord Krishna, Kali Yuga, Lord Chaitanya.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna
So,
Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So Purushavasaras are these Karanadakshay Vishnu, Garbhodakshay Vishnu, Kshirodakshay Vishnu. There are Purushavasaras. Leela Avataras is different Leelas. Matsya Leela, Kurma Avatara, Varaha Avatar, Rama Avatar, Narsimha Avatar, Vamana Avatar. There are Leela Avataras. Rama Leela, all this. And then Yuga Avataras. Satya Yuga, he came as Narsimhadev. In Treta Yuga, he appeared as Lord Ramachandra. Then he appeared in Dwapar Yuga as himself, Krishna. And Kali Yuga, yellow Lord Chaitanya. Gunavataras is the mode of goodness, mode of ignorance, mode of passion. So Brahma is in charge of passion, Vishnu goodness, and Shiva or Rudra in charge of guna, that is Tamoguna, ignorance. So Manvantara is Swayambhuru Manu, Swayambhuva Manu, Swarochisha Manu, Vaivasvata Manu, that is the present age, and Shaktya Avatara, empowered incarnations. They're also there. Kumaras, Narad Muni, Prithu are Shaktya Avataras. So all this information is there in Bhagavatam. Then these are the 6 important questions. Whoever has taken Diksha, actually Neeraja Mataji, if she's here, she'll know. Mataji, you had to memorize all this, right? Like, what are the 6 questions asked by the sages and all for the, your initiation. You have to go through all this, I think. So these questions are very, very important. What were the 6 questions asked by the sages and what were the answers? So the first question was, what is the ultimate good for people in general? That was the question. The image is so nice. Sages are sitting and there is Sutta Goswami sitting here. They're asking, what is the ultimate good for people in general? What is the ultimate good for people in general? This comes in 1.1.9. The reference also is given. So answer is given. Bhakti and process of bhakti. That is the ultimate good. Second one, what is the essence of all the scriptures? What is the essence of all the scriptures? Okay, that question is asked. So what is the ultimate good for people in general? What is the essence of all the scriptures? Third question, for what purpose did Lord Krishna appear? What purpose did he appear? Why did he appear? So answer is given in these shlokas. To reclaim conditioned souls in pure goodness. To reclaim. To kill this demon, that demon, paritranaya sadhunam, all this is they are external reasons. The Lord can take care of these demons or any other matter very easily. He doesn't have to come personally for that. But why he appeared is to reclaim conditioned souls in pure goodness. And fourth one, which adventures does Lord perform in his incarnations? What are the adventures? Which adventure did he perform? When he was here. So then Purushavatara is mentioned. What are the activities of his incarnations? All the Leela Avatars mentioned. What are his incarnations and activities? Those are the questions asked. And to whom have religious principles gone for shelter after his departure? After the Lord left, where is the religious principle now? To whom have the religious principles gone for shelter? In Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is literary incarnation. Srimad Bhagavatam is literary incarnation of Krishna. There is no difference between Bhagavatam and Krishna. if you are studying Bhagavatam every day, reading Bhagavatam, hearing his pastimes, doing Shravanam and going through all the shlokas and everything, it is like we are in, we are in, Krishna is there with us. That's how it is, we are in his association. So there is no difference between Krishna and Bhagavatam. We should remember that. So this is really, really important. So we'll go through these 6 questions again. Can someone read this so that we'll remember? Hare Krishna. What are the 6 questions?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
6 questions by sages and respective answers. What is the ultimate good for people in general? 1.1.9. Bhakti and process of bhakti. What is the essence of all scriptures? Bhakti and process of bhakti. SP 1.2.7. For what purpose did Lord Krishna appear? 1.1.12. To reclaim conditioned souls in pure goodness. Which adventures does Lord perform in his incarnations, especially related to creation? Purushavatara. Then what are the activities of his incarnations? Leela Avataras, 1.1.8. Then to whom have religious principles gone for shelter after his departure? In Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes, Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
So nice. And then questions asked so far by the sages of Naimisharanya. Questions about history of Srimad Bhagavatam. When, where, how, and whose inspiration did Vasudev compile it? Questions about Maharaj Parikshit, about the hearer of Srimad Bhagavatam. He is the one who is sitting, see this image, how he's sitting and listening attentively. Then his birth, Maharaj Parikshit's birth, his activities, his renunciation, all that. Questions about Sukadev Goswami, the speaker of Srimad Bhagavatam. Who was Sukadev Goswami? He's the son of Rasamuni only. Then Parikshit Maharaj, he actually was, under the influence of, that was all Krishna's arrangement. But it appeared that he was so angry that he was not given water. That's why he threw the dead snake as a garland on that stage. But now, for 7 days and 7 nights, he's sitting and hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. And he's very happy doing that. He is not at all worried about his hunger or thirst also. He says, this is so beautiful that, Pibata Bhagavata Samalayam, just keep on narrating, tell me more, tell me more. He's just hearing. So he's not complaining about thirst or nothing at all. Hunger, nothing. No sleep, nothing. See, we are studying for 1 hour, 2 hours, and we speak also for limited amount of time. But this narration went on for 7 days continuously. Imagine a person sitting and hearing this for such a long time, day and night. That it's not easy. So the amount of absorption and, he used to go into ecstasy. He was so happy hearing about Krishna and his pastimes. So all that is discussed about Parikshit Maharaj. Questions about Sukadev Goswami. How was he perceived at Hastinapura? And how did his meeting with Parikshit take place? How did Sukadev Goswami come in contact with Parikshit Maharaj? How did the meeting take place and how it was all perceived? So what is the qualification of Saunak Rishi as a leader of Naimisharanya sages? So that is discussed. He is elderly. Saunak Rishi is elderly. He is head of the assembly and is very learned. And then qualification of Srila Shukadev Goswami. He is a Mahayogi, great devotee, Samadrik, equibalanced, absolute monist, had realized Brahman. One-pointed attention and surpassed essence. That is his qualification. He was a great devotee. He was equibalanced, absolute monist, he had realized Brahman. One-pointed attention, surpassed essence. The qualification of Saunak Rishi is elderly. His head of the assembly is very learned. And glorious qualities of Maharaj Parikshit. Can someone read this, please? Glorious qualities of Maharaj Parikshit.
Shall I read, Mataji?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Glorious qualities of Maharaj Parikshit. He is a first-class devotee of Krishna. His birth is wonderful. His activities are also wonderful, beautiful yet detached. He inherited his grandfather's kingdom yet was not attached to the wealth and opulence, detached from material enjoyment. Followed the footsteps of Maharaj Yudhishthira, Nishamya Bhishmoktam Atharchutoktam, SB 1.10.3. Then why should he give up all these favorable circumstances and sit down on the bank of the Ganges fasting till death? Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. He inherited his grandfather's kingdom. See how nicely it's given here. Yet he was not attached to wealth and opulence. He's a great king, great emperor. Followed the footsteps of Maharaj Yudhishthir. And then, why should he give up all these favorable circumstances? All this is discussed. His birth is wonderful. We know how Krishna protected him. Krishna personally protected him. He was as big as a thumb. He entered the womb and then he shielded the heat from the astra. So his activities are also wonderful. So Maharaj Parikshit is discussed. Learnings from Sri Narada's life, Narad Muni's life. The wonder of an atmosphere surcharged with devotional service to the Lord. The most insignificant parentage, not properly educated, but still he became an immortal sage because of engaging all his energy in the service of the Lord. How Narad Muni became Narad Muni, that is discussed. Sri Narad Muni exemplifies the service of the Lord, begins with the service of the Lord's bona fide servants. The pure devotees of the Lord, Bhakti Vedantis, are impartial in distributing Bhakti. We can see that in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also. He is partial. He is distributing Krishna Prema to everyone, each and everyone. Like Haridas Thakur was, from a Mohammed family, but still he became a great, he surrendered to Mahaprabhu. The discipline followed by Narad Muni, even as a small boy, is very significant for progress in spiritual path. Importance of spiritual training and culture right from the childhood is the process of successful family planning. The boy became infected with the devotee's qualities of purity by their association and by eating once daily remnants of the foodstuff taken by them. All this will be discussed in detail. This is just a summary, one-liners, that's all. These pastimes will be discussed in detail. Very beautiful, such a small boy, how he was serving them and what happened after that. The infection meaning to imbibe the taste of pure devotion, always in the transcendental activities of the Lord. So beautiful. Then we have a few more slides to go. We'll just go through this. Kunti Devi offers prayers to Lord Krishna, who is departing for Dwaraka. Queen Kunti's prayers. So this is what it is. Knowing the Lord. She says, you are the supreme Lord, existing in and out. Invisible, covered by curtain of Maya, known to Paramahamsa, not to women like me. Such beautiful prayers are there. We did this actually. We have studied this. Queen Kunti's prayers we have studied. The slokas are very beautiful. I'm fortunate, she says. Devaki and Vasudeva are fortunate. I'm also fortunate to see your lotus-like form. I'm more fortunate you saved my sons, not Devaki's. You protected us from various calamities. Let those calamities come repeatedly so that we may see you again and again. Qualification to approach the Lord. Akinchana Gocharam, not to those intoxicated by Janma, Aishwarya, Shruti, Shri. Some people are intoxicated, due to high birth, like I'm a Brahmana, I'm a Kshatriya, the high birth. And then some people have, we saw this in Nalakubera and Manigrave. They were born to, wealthiest father and they had everything. They were a little bit proud, because of all their opulence. And then Shruti, Shri, knowledge, and then beauty. All this can make us intoxicated. We can become very proud and it can lead to our own downfall. Akinchana Vittaya, property of materially impoverished. You are equal to all as time, controller, etc. She says all this. Kunti offers prayers to Lord Krishna, who is departing from Dwaraka. Again, the Lord's nature is inconceivable, bewildering. It's not difficult, it's not easy to understand Krishna. No one can understand you. Your partiality is imagined. You are Aja, but take birth akurtu, but act. You're Aja, you're Krishna. That's why we say Krishna appears. He doesn't take birth like us. He can appear however he wants, whenever he wants. Fear is afraid of you, but you're afraid of Yashoda. We'll read about Krishna again, Damodar Lila, because Damodar month is going to start now, October 7th. We'll read about this pastime. Opinion on Lord's birth, to please and glorify King Yadu, to answer prayers of Vasudeva and Devaki. That's why he appeared, and to kill asuras for public welfare. In response to Brahma's prayers, Brahma prayed, right? Because Mother approached him and he prayed to the Lord and he appeared. So many reasons are given. The real reason is to rejuvenate bhakti to help conditioned souls. Potency of bhakti shows Lord's lotus feet and destroys samsara. Appeal for more association. She says, oh Krishna, don't leave us. She's saying, why? Because there are so many kings envious of us. No one can protect but you. Krishna is the only one who can protect. The fame of Pandavas, Yadus, without you is like senses without soul. She says this. Our prosperity is because of your glance. They won this kingdom. They are living so opulently. It's all because of Krishna's mercy, she's telling. So sever my family ties to Yadus and Pandavas. Let my mind flow towards you like Ganges. And she offers obeisances. Passing away of Bhishma Dev is also discussed. Bhishma Dev's instruction to Yudhishthira Maharaj, because he was actually very sad after the war. After winning the kingdom, he was not very happy because so many deaths happened, so many people died, so much bloodshed and all. He was a little bit sad about all this. And Bhishma Dev actually instructs him. What does he instruct? About various dharmas and purusharthas with historical examples. He says, you're such a great person. And he also tells him, gives him courage. Dharmas explained in brief detail included Varnashrama, Vairagya, Raga, Dana, Dharma, Raja Dharma, Moksha Dharma, Stri Dharma, Bhagavad Dharma, all these instructs. Bhagavad Dharma being the best of all. Bhishma Deva's final moments are also described. Krishna is there and his tears in his eyes and how he welcomes Krishna, though he cannot even do anything because he's lying on the this one, arrows. Seeing the auspicious moments, he withdraws his mind from other subject matters and fixes it on Krishna. We have another 2 more slides to go. That's it. We'll finish it off. He says, let my mind focus on Krishna's Parthasarathi form and his activities. Honoring Bhishma Deva's departure and the events thereafter. See, from these texts mentioned here, celebration by demigods and performance of funeral rites by Yudhishthira. Sages glorify Krishna and return. Yudhishthira, after counseling his uncle and aunt, ruled according to dharma. And then punishment and reward of Kali. Maharaj Parikshit expertly gives residence to the ironically surrendered Kali. Kali forsaking his dress out of fear, surrendered to Parikshit. So all this, Kali is actually he's hurting the cow, and Parikshit Maharaj is very angry when he sees that. So he gives him 5 places to stay. Place where gambling is going on, drinking is going on, prostitution is going on, animal slaughter, and where there is gold. Where there is gold, there is intoxication, lust, envy, enmity. So these places Kali can go stay, he said. Those who desire progressive well-being should be cautious of these 5 places. A person who wants to progress in spiritual life must be careful of these places. Glorious rule of Parikshit Maharaj. He established the last legs of bull and improved the situation of cow. And then Parikshit Maharaj cursed by a Brahmana boy. We'll discuss this, don't worry, in great detail. And then this was there in that. So let's go over this and then we can conclude. And we'll start from chapter 1 in our next session. Maharaj Parikshit's birth, death, and dealings with Kali. Birth, consciousness, surrender, and death. Glorious death, dedication to the large topics, and constant remembrance of Krishna. That's what he did. He sat in front of Shukmuni. He was hearing about Krishna. He was absorbed in his thoughts. Kali could not flourish in Parikshit's rule. Parikshit saw the good quality in Kali. In the age of Kali, auspicious things produce good effects immediately, whereas inauspicious acts must be actually performed to render effects. Kali's ineffectiveness to the devotees and importance of Harikatha. See, nothing can touch a pure devotee. Prabhupada says, nothing can. Krishna protects the pure devotee. Kali's ineffectiveness to the devotees. Eagerness of sages to hear Krishna Katha. Fire sacrifice versus Shravanam. In Kali Yuga, Harinam Sankirtan, Shravanam, devotional, these 9 processes are very, very effective. Power of association and hearing Harikatha. And the qualities of speaker. He has to be a bona fide speaker. We can repeat what is already taught to us by our spiritual master. Somebody should not be speaking from their own mind. And the qualities of the hearer and the subject matter. No cessation in Shravanam. Continue describing about Parikshit. Suta Goswami expresses humility and glorifies Krishna and glories of the holy name, power of holy name and Vasudev Seva, unparalleled position of Lord, attachment to him leads to detachment from body. Then I will describe the Lord's pastime as per my realization, he says. I will do one thing and stop this. So this is just the overview. So many pastimes come one after another. So much dialogue is also there. How Krishna departed, how Dhritarashtra left. So many things are mentioned. It's very beautiful to read.